guess where I'm recording this from. Yeah.
Hi, Ian in Scotland.
Hello Ian and good people of the internet. This is the first SemesterAblog post from Chicago. I missed my post last week because our old camera died. But now we have a new camera, which as I already demonstrated has a ridiculous zoom. I'm supposed to be punished for not posting last Saturday, but that punishment is going to have to wait until next Saturday because I have a bad cold today and I can't sing at all. So you can all look forward to me serving my punishment next time. The next topic of discussion, bottles. Specifically this root beer bottle. This is the most delicious root beer I've ever drunk in my entire life. But much more important than what the root beer originally inside it tasted like, the bottle itself. Most bottles, you can blow on them, and it creates a single tone. And you can only get one tone, but on this particular bottle it makes a tone upon different angles of blowing, so you can actually blow two different notes, F sharp and F. It's amazing. This is the most effectively musical bottle I've ever encountered in my life. It's like if bottles were people, this bottle would be Mozart. The next topic, school. The school year has started again completely and I had forgotten how ridiculously terrible it is. Each one of my 7 classes seems to have a completely unique and distinct method of being just awful. For example, the thing that's awful about calculus is just that it's a ton of work. The problem with AP Lit is that I'm not getting all of the work done, so I'm not doing so well in that even though it's much more fun. The problem with drawing and painting 1 is that I can't draw or paint. And me trying to draw with a pencil is almost exactly like you, and by you I mean Ian, and by Ian I mean my brother, not the other Ian, is exactly like you trying to play my bodhrán. It's me trying to fiddle around with a little piece of wood and trying to make something good out of it when I have no idea how to do it right. Speaking of twiddling around with little pieces of wood that I have no idea what to do with, my friends and I seem to be going to a lot more Asian restaurants this year, and it turns out that chopsticks are really complicated. So while I'm really inept at using them as eating utensils, I'm actually pretty good at using them as drumsticks, so I'm starting to think that if I ever wanted to take up the snare drum, I could learn that really, really quickly. Next I'd like to talk about music. Ian, on your second post, you talked about having a dream where many of my friends and I were singing Wagon Wheel by Old Crow Medicine's show, and that inspired me to actually bother to learn that song. And you know how we had planned on maybe doing a recording of that just for our own amusement? I think that when we do that, it should definitely have a part that goes like this. Now I'd like to talk to you about writing. I decided that every Saturday I'm going to try to make some progress writing because it's a school year and I don't have any other time to do it, but I really need to keep working. But today, because I was distracted by being sick, I I only got about 6 words written, which is really depressing. During the week I managed to write a couple shorter things. Which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. Vampire squid from hell! That is an actual animal which lives deep under the sea, and the term vampire squid from hell is actually a literal translation of its scientific name, Vampiroteuthis infernalis, which is the best scientific name I've ever heard in my life. And anyway, for some reason late last night, one part of my brain dared another part of my brain to write something incorporating the phrase vampire squid from hell. So I wrote this. You too are bright and beautiful, O wriggling centipede, for he who makes the heart to pump, he makes the heart to bleed, and all your many writhing legs are heaven made indeed. You too are bright and beautiful, O queen-destroying asp, for he who made the wild wind made the iron fetters clasp, and patterned life so all must feel destruction's frigid grasp. You too are bright and beautiful, O vampire squid from hell, for he who brings a life and love must also ring the knell, and he who made the little lamb the tiger made as well. That's actually better than you would expect for such a ridiculous idea as write something incorporating the phrase vampire squid from hell. But still, it's a ridiculous concept, so I didn't assign that as much importance as to withhold it from YouTube just because I would fear it being stolen, because I really don't care on that particular piece. Otherwise you aren't going to hear me writing or playing a lot of copyrighted material on this blog. Actually, probably none whatsoever other than that. So enjoy that. That was sort of a one-time thing. To speak alliteratively. And finally, my furry friend Fing Fong. Fing Fong meet the world, world meet Fing Fong. We're not required to have our stuffed animals in every video, and I figure that if we're doing that we might as well have actual conversations happening among the animals that are sort of tangential to the ones that are going on in the human conversations. So, let's start this off with Fing Fong. Hi, Grandpa Bear. What's it like to be a bear in Scotland? Meeting any new exciting bears? That's a terrible start to the discussion, but there you go. Run with it, Grandpa Bear. That'll be it until next Saturday. Ian, I'll see you on Wednesday, and Fing Fong will see Grandpa Bear on Wednesday too, and we are both eagerly expecting both of your responses. Bye.
Walnuts maybe,
yeah.